Hey guys, and here's another Japanese imports review. This time I am reviewing the American version of the, let me see if I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Daijujin mecha from the Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger series. That was the first series that the American Power Rangers was adapted from, and they used a lot of Japanese footage for it. And you know, if any of you were kids in the 90s, this should totally bring back memories, as the first robot known as the original Megazord. They have kind of gone backwards and have re-established this as the Dino Megazord, because I guess they wanted to differentiate it, and I think all the series after this referred to their Zords as some type of Megazord, like, you know, I don't know. I can't think of any examples right now, but whatever. Anyway, so when I called this the American version, you'll notice that there was a slight tilt to my voice, because this is actually the exact thing that the Japanese people get, except we've got a sticker covering the original Japanese name. Over here the sticker says Megazord, and down here where the original logo for the Japanese version would have been, we see Mighty Morphin Power Rangers celebrating 20 years of this crap. This is made by Bandai and the Tamashii Nation's marketing team, I guess. Well, at least that's as far as I know it to be. I saw this label, this logo, all over Japan when I went in 2012, promoting all sorts of Sentai kind of stuff, and you know, that's what this was initially based on. And in America this is the most known, but I believe that they would also in Japan be promoting the less popular, at least in America, series is like Ultraman and Kamen Rider and Akiba Ranger, which I've actually made a review of earlier for the Figure Arts, so if you want to check that one out, go ahead and look for it. Anyway, so here is the box for the Super Robot Chogokin, and it is a warning: choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years old. And here we see the original Megazord with his Tyrannosaurus body, his Mastodon arms and shield, saber-toothed tiger leg, and Triceratops other leg, and also let's not forget the pterodactyl chest plate armor. So there's the box. There's a flashy kind of silver text going down the side, pretty cool, in kind of traditional brush art kind of style. On the side there's a picture of the toy itself, again, of course, and in case some of you didn't know, the reason why the side art is so important and is generally left unmolested is because when you've got toy stores in Japan, they actually put, I mean, and this isn't in all stores, but when the stores are running out of space, or if they've got a lot of the same items at the same time or whatever, they actually put it on the shelf sideways, as opposed to like American stores, but they generally stack them one in front of the other, which is, if you really think about it, it is actually pretty inefficient, because if you got a lot of different models and not a lot of shelf space, you'd have hidden ones behind the main one. But because they a lot of stores over there package it sideways, now you can have the Megazord, some other Megazord toy, some other Megazord toy, some other Megazord toy, and it only really taking up this much area of your shelf space. So, you know, good thinking, Japan. On this side, as we see, just is some of the caution things that we really don't need to get into, other than the fact that it's a choking hazard for kiddies. Who cares? Good for them. If you're a parent and you bought this and you didn't expect your kid to choke to death, well, that's on you, isn't it? Here is some of the box art showing you what you could do with your Megazord if you were to buy it. You've got the little lightning things that I actually don't really remember from the American series, but you've also got blazing sword and things like that. Well, you know what? But you know, you're not really interested in the box art, but I just wanted to get that out of the way first. And so here it is. And here are some of its accessories. Now, I believe, well, I've already opened this quite a while ago, and so as a result, I've misplaced some of the parts, but I think I've got most of them. It might have had replacement arms, but I'm not entirely sure. I looked in this thing. Yeah, I mean, right, these look like it. Open fist, you know, well, I mean, that is to say closed fist, open palms, and things like that. That way you can pose it a little bit cooler. But I think let's just go through the accessories first. Here's the traditional sword with a good amount of detail, just pretty much like any Japanese toy would. Extremely high quality control, and if you put this over it, he's got his electro slicer sword thing, and sort of like an upgrade. There's also the Mastodon face shield that he can hold, that way you can protect him from blasts. And here's the little lightning bolt thing that goes at the top of his head that I really don't remember ever seeing. There's also shoulder cannons that come down sort of like the way War Machines does. That's pretty cool. So there's that. Pretty cool. So one thing that I did want to mention right away was that this baby has bits of die-cast metal in it. The entire thing is not die-cast metal, but they are select parts, and I'll point them out as I get to it. First of all, I do not believe his arms are... I do not believe they're die-cast metal. They feel very light. There may be bits of it that I may just have missed, but I don't think it is. But it's got very impressive, nearly full, realistic human kind of articulation. I am a little bit delicate with it because this was an expensive toy. I believe it was around 50 bucks. And it's got a very attractive click. You can move it forward, you can move it kind of all around, you can kind of give him a silly pose like, what's going on? I don't know anymore. His head is also, I believe it's plastic. It's got a full range of motion, which is pretty cool. And of course, those aforementioned kind of shoulder cannons that we're going to get into a little bit. There's a lot of movement here, and it doesn't click, but it just connects very well to the well, I mean, when you're putting it away, it fits into the grooves quite well, and it doesn't have the tendency to like drop because of weak joints or anything. Is the best way I can really say. We'll talk about that. That is. There is some chest movement, but not too much, it seems. Waist, I should say. The chest, the pterodactyl shield chest, is metal. So this is, you know, getting into where the metal territory gets into. These side plates, they move a little bit. That way, if you want to give your character a bit of a more spread leg pose, you can do that. Some of this stuff moves just a little bit, just to not inhibit movement. As we can see here, the plates move fully forward. That way you can kind of do a walking gesture, or kind of knee up gesture, or maybe proposing to a little girl Megazord. Okay. Now this is where we're getting back into, I'm not really sure what's metal and what's plastic. Although the foot is plastic, this entire yellow part here is metal. Yeah, this entire yellow part. However, yeah, and same thing with the blue leg. So this is a pretty heavy toy if you were to get it, and of course when I say heavy, I mean heavy for a toy. I don't mean that it's that you know it's a chore to hold it or anything, but there are a lot of movement joints here. There's double knee joints. Once we get the focus in, can be more amazed. Right, so there's the double knee joints that I was talking about. so it can do all the way up to there, and it stays despite the weight. There's also foot movement over here, and also this, I guess, that way the shame is that I don't think the other side does similar things, so it may be just a one-off, because the joint here is very different. So clearly it kind of favors the saber-tooth tiger leg as far as posability and aesthetics for poses go. Let's see what other things we can review here. I mean, and it's the level of detail and the paint job is superb. The quality control is amazing, as Japanese toys usually are, which is a real shame because we're you know, as of this point, entering the summertime of 2013, we are hitting a point where Marvel Legends made by Toy Biz are costing nearly $25 retail at Toys R Us and Kmart and other places around New York City. And if you think about it, if you double your cost, if you double your price and just purchase this, you get a, you know, a very complicated, complicatedly made toy. There are a lot of moving parts, a lot of care. There's a lot of quality control. And there's just like, you know, unlike with Toy Biz toys where you have to wonder, oh, you know what, I have to go to the store, I have to pick up the best one, otherwise the eyes are going to be wonky, or you know, it's going to come with 2 left feet or something, which I've actually encountered more than a couple times already. But now for $50 you can just get this, and it's pretty much the end-all be-all ultimate version of Megazord. I mean, if you get any other one, it may increase in size, or you know, or it may have the feature where you can take it apart into individual pieces. But you know, I wasn't really a fan of those usually, because when you are able to take it apart, that also means that there's a huge cut in posability, because there's only so much you can do with a toy that needs to come apart and become 5 other individual toys. But yeah, no, I'm extremely happy with this. It brings me back to my childhood. I think that anybody making this purchase would absolutely adore this toy, especially because it's really the ultimate thing that you can buy from the Power Ranger series that I don't think anybody would really you know, say you're crazy for. There are other things you can buy from the Power Ranger series, such as buying a mask, but that takes a lot of space. It's expensive and it's kind of weird to display in your home without looking like a complete fanatic, that is to say. And I think most people kind of, you know, even if you're bringing girls over or whatever, they kind of accept that guys will generally have a couple of action figures laying around. Of course, you become more and more weird the more action figures you have, so try to not get that number like over like 3. I think 3 is pretty good. Some more look at the detail here. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that the saber-tooth tiger teeth and the triceratops horn, the two probably arguably most delicate parts here, are not made of metal, so I can see them cracking off and having to re-glue them or something terrible like that. You got the treads over here with the triceratops. You got the wheels with the saber-tooth tiger. You've got actually right here you've got the tail of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It doesn't do anything, but it's really nice to see these kind of features in there. And with the pterodactyl, you don't really see any detail at all. But you know, there's the head and everything, and you know, you can have him holding the shield, I guess. Well, you have to believe me that he can hold the shield. I didn't put him in very... Yep. You can also hold the sword. Well, you're gonna have to trust me that he can. Yep. So there you have it, a review of the Tamashii Nations Megazord from the original Power Ranger series. Hopefully you get an idea of how sturdy, or relatively sturdy, and how nice this thing looks, and whether or not this is worth your you know, bit of your paycheck. To me, totally worth it.